Okay, we are live, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I see Caitlin and Marvin both out there, and I got my wonderful cast here. Next to me is Just the Facts man, Dan McNew, great podcaster. Directly below him is Michael Noland, the bottom line. He's based. Michael's a superstar in the podcasting world. He's got a fantastic show. Never seen that kind of growth in my life. And next to Mike, and I highly recommend you go to Dan McNew's show, Just the Facts Man, and subscribe, and also go to wherever you went, Michael Nolan's
Michael, come back.
Bottom Line show, and subscribe.
Watch anything,
And,
guys.
and next to Michael, we have musicians Lou Mars and Dana Hansen, who are currently working on a project. And I'll call him our own Lou Mars. You know, Lou's a multi-instrumentalist. Dana's a wonderful musician. They both sing. They both play all kinds of instruments. Lou's won multiple awards, and he toured for 30 years successfully. Okay, so we're gonna move to our show now. What we're gonna talk about tonight is box sets. I have never seen the deluge of box sets like I'm seeing right now. It seems every time I turn my computer on, turn my phone on, there's two or three more box sets for sale. I mean, what's going on here? Did they finally figure out that that's what we want, or is it a desperate last gasp before people leave physical media altogether and wind up in the streaming services? I don't know. Maybe some of you have opinions on that. I mean, clearly the box sets are for targeted vinyl in particular to the older demographic, because we've got the 50th anniversary of so many of our rock gods, and that's playing into the whole box set thing. And it's also a way for them to capitalize. They take one album, they remaster it, remix it, they add a bunch of outtakes, they turn it into 3 or 4 albums, and then they add some pictures, they add some booklets, and now voila, you have a box set at several $100s. And I'm not saying that's good, or I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not pro, I'm not anti. I have some box sets. In fact, I'll be showing them before long, and there's no doubt I'm going to have more box sets. But it's the older generation that likes the physical media. The younger generation streaming. The physical media gets you to focus on one album, one artist, and one song at a time, and one period at a time, which is really important. That period in time, and you're focused on that with physical media. You're playing an album, but the streaming services, you're just jumping from song to song in various artists. So it's completely different. And although I think streaming could be the way of the future for everybody, I'm not convinced that the younger generation, as they age, aren't going to want to own the music physically and wind up going back to what we're doing right now. And I'm not convinced that isn't going to happen. We'll have to wait. Well, some of us will wait and see. I don't know if I'll be here to wait and see. But what I want to talk about now is I have three box sets in particular that I was sort of highlighting, and because I have a story for every one of them. And I know Michael's going to have a lot to say about the new Revolver box set. And what I'm going to do, this is not a good way to show the Revolver box set. I actually have some good pictures of it right here. Here's the new Revolver box set. And you can see there's 4 LPs, and there's one 7-inch, and then there's a booklet full of pictures, a big booklet. And this is selling for $199 and change, and you're limited to 4 per customer. You pre-order it, you prepay for it, and it may or may not ship October 28th. Okay, let me pull that down off the screen. And I know Michael's got some things he wants to say about this one in particular.
Yeah, thanks, Boyce. We were talking about this album just before going live. And,
That's right.
I told him I would be as succinct as I could. One of the things I wanted to bring out about this album and this box set and this remix is that for the first of all, a ton of box sets, a ton of stuff. Are they worth it? That's going to probably be the where we're going to go for the rest of the evening. But this is one special. This is one special box set, and for less than $200, here's what you get. You get the original album, not only remastered but remixed. Okay, so it's remixed. It's not remixed from the original stereo mix or the original mono mix per se. It is remixed like it was impossible to remix it last year. Now,
Yeah.
what happened? What happened was during the Get Back movie, when Peter Jackson was putting that together, him and his team developed new sonic technology to isolate voices and everything. That's why we got all those wonderful, intimate John and Paul discussing George leaving,
Right.
and yet we just saw a still picture, right? That's how they did that. Well, now here's the problem. Everybody always says, well, what's the difference between Sergeant Pepper and that being remixed and
Right.
Revolver and
Right.
that being remixed? After all, they were both recorded with 4-track technology. Here's the difference. Sergeant Pepper was recorded with a 4-track machine, no doubt, in tandem with another 4-track machine. So earlier incarnations of, well, not with Sergeant Pepper, but usually bass work, rhythm guitar, drums, were still isolative. You could go back and get those and bring those into the mix. Then you could go get the second record, bring those in, and with new technology, sync them up, and you had this wonderful remix for Sergeant Pepper. Here's the problem, with the exception of one song, and that is Tomorrow Never Knows, which is curiously the first song they recorded for this album. You would have thought they would have gone from, that technology on. But they laid it aside and returned to their the approach that was more, say, Rubber Soul-ish, for the remaining tracks. Amazing tracks. They did incredible things that went way beyond Rubber Soul. But here's the problem. They'd lay down Paul, his rhythm guitar, and they would combine those over there, and then they would use the isolative things for the octet. Well, you recorded that twice. That got laid over there. And then you would put the Beatles, John and Paul's backing vocals on top of that. All right. And now you can't get back to Paul's rhythm guitar. You can't get back to one section of that octet. Okay. Because there was no 2 4-tracks in tandem working. So with this new technology, we'll just pick up Paul's bass here. Now, I was talking about Taxman earlier. And I did a whole video on why that is the best damn mix of that song that exists in stereo. All right. And you can go see that. But here's the final thing. This box set also includes, from a tape master, not digital, a remaster at least. It's not a remix. It's a remaster. So we're going to get a more high, powerful, polished sound of the original, which many people claim is the ultimate mix of this album, the mono mix. So this release offers everything, guys, everything.
All right.
Treaties. Thank you for your time.
No, that's fantastic.
Michael, man. Michael, I love you. I love Michael.
You know what? I could have never explained that, and I still can't.
I disagree like a motherfucker, but
I'm not even embarrassed by that.
I've spent too many freaking hours over a mixing board,
we're dead about that, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
I'm going head to head with you tonight. I'm going head to head with Michael tonight.
You're aware of this technology, Lou.
I am, but I'm going to go
totally.
Michael, I got to go another direction, man. So I'm going to put it this way. I'm going to put it this way to our chat room people in layman's terms. Let's start with this. I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan, for example. I love Alfred Hitchcock. I love his movies. They called him the king of black and white before color came out.
Yeah.
Now, a box set to me is colorizing Alfred Hitchcock's black and white films. They were not meant to ever be colorized. He knew how to work with shadows. And George Martin putting those 2 4-track machines together, and what Michael just explained to you people is called ping ponging. They had a ping pong tracks. That was the term back then to enable. So they got this new technology like a vocoder. You know those voice correction things that you guys love? It's the same fucking thing. Some songs are meant to sound like they're coming out of Megahorn. The Beatles didn't need to be improved. They were already badass. The only people buying these box sets are super fans. Super fans will buy manure at the end of a stand on Walmart. You can get these songs the way they were meant to be for $2 a track at Spotify, Apple, anywhere you want. Don't spend $100 to hear something remixed by some fucker who wasn't even in the room. Get the shit the way it was. Otherwise, you're wasting your money.
Well, Lou, I got to tell you, I actually like The Wizard of Oz in color.
I did too.
Wait a minute. The Wizard of Oz was in color.
Yeah.
It was in color.
Yeah,
But you colorize the whole thing, you fuck up the whole idea that it didn't get to color.
Okay, all right.
But Lou, I would agree with you. 99% of all of these remixes by other bands. But you know what? This isn't just another guy that wasn't there. This is the son of the guy that was there, and really, he is fabulous. Huh?
Okay.
Well, he wasn't there.
Well,
he wasn't old enough. And here's the next part. Come on, Michael.
He's the son of the man who was there and personally trained by his father. Okay. So,
nepotism doesn't make it right. So
all
that's
right.
like the Queen's dead.
Well, okay. How many definitions of there are box set fans? Okay, you've got the super fan of that particular band, and I know Michael's a super Beatles fan. I've been a super Beatles fan in and out most of my life. I started out, there was nothing like the Beatles in '64 and '65. Then 66, 7 with Sgt. Pepper's and Magic Mystery. I mean, I went in and out of being the biggest Beatle fan ever. And now I'm becoming the biggest Beatle fan ever again. But the more I listen to them, the more I love them. But the bottom line is, like I said before, I have an original pressing here. This is Parlophone from England.
Amazing. This is amazing.
An original pressing of Revolver, And it's got
That's not a box set, Royce.
Alternate version, not found on any other albums. And it's hard for me to think that I can improve upon this. And part of that is, I think, the value maybe and the rarity of the original pressing, and that may be as much of it as anything. And it could be very well that if I listen to the box set, I may like what I'm hearing there better. And I agree with Michael. You put Rubber Soul above Revolver. And I've listened to them both back to back about 3 times. I didn't really have to listen past the first time to agree with you. Rubber Soul above Revolver is as good as Revolver is. The first track on Rubber Soul was fantastic. And then when Norwegian Wood kicked in, they had me. That was the number one. You know what I mean?
Right on.
And there was no coming back from that for me.
That's perspective of the listener. That's like saying Van Gogh is better than whomever. I don't know. That's a personal thing.
It is a personal thing.
Lou, it's just my opinion. On my channel, I give my opinion, and the video that Royce is talking about is, in my opinion, we call everybody who subscribes to my channel the tribe. I only give my opinion. That's the question to the tribe. And then in the comments is where my channel comes alive. And that's where the real, I get outvoted all the time. And you're absolutely.
I love your shit, Michael. I love your shit.
Seriously, Lou, if you told me that Rubber Soul is far superior to Revolver, which, by the way, these 2 albums are my best.
I would not do that.
Oh, I love them.
They're both I would not do that. I would not do
that.
But
I couldn't argue with your verdict because Revolver is a freaking masterpiece.
They're both.
Yeah.
I think Sgt. Pepper's their masterpiece with George Moore. But
okay, I'm gonna pop this next one I wanted to bring up, and it's not necessarily because I'm a big fan, but there is a huge fan base.
Super fan band.
And my previous 4 co-hosts were the biggest. One of them had a show called Kiss My Collectables.
Yes, go bring it up.
you know, and he, you know, they bought pinball machines, they bought Kiss albums from every country on the planet. And it was then that I started for the first time really listening to Kiss and wound up buying a few of their albums. Now, having said that, this particular box set is for what you get. You saw the size of that. It's a 40th anniversary Creatures of the Night box set. Look at all you got colored vinyl, you've got photographs, you've got booklets, you've got everything in the world there. I mean, it's a huge box set, and considering everything that you're getting, whether you're a fan or not, from 260 to 320, I tell you what, not the tribe, but the Kiss fans will buy all of them.
Oh, they will
buy them out. And that was my little story, just because my previous co-hosts were.
I want to interject what Sam. I want to interject what Sammy Hagar said to Van Halen right before they kicked him out at the very end. Sammy Hagar, and you can look this up. The reason he got into riffs with Eddie Van Halen at the end was because he wanted to do a box set. And Sammy said to Eddie, Sammy's a great businessman. I met him when I was a kid, when he rehearsed in Campus Drive in Hayward with Journey at the same house. He fucking great dude with Montrose. Here's the thing with Sammy. Sammy's like, he's smart. He says, you know what, guys? If we put a box set out, it means we're done. It means we're not going to do any more albums. It's basically a memorial. It's the end of a career. It's a symbolic the end. And so he didn't want to do that. But Eddie was like, no, we're going to do this because there's big money behind it. And he refused, and he ended up getting knocked out of the band. You can look that up because of his stand on refusing to do that. I agree with Sammy. I agree that the only thing box sets are for are a memorial for bands that are never going to do another album again. What I like about them,
it's an interesting idea.
It's not an idea. It's a fact. Because here's the thing: the bands that you're talking about are all dead. They're not releasing any new albums. Kiss, what's their new album again? What's their new song on the charts? How about Beatles? What's their new song again? The big wait a minute. How about Guns N' Roses? Guns N' Roses has got a new box set. What's their new album?
Chinese Democracy.
That was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
I know, 20, probably 20. Okay. I'm gonna move on real quick here. There's a reason. Hey guys, there's a reason why I'm showing this. This is a Guns N' Roses box set, specifically focused on just the two albums that came out together: Use Your Illusions 1 and Use Your Illusions 2. And I got a story to go with this. That's like I said before, I'm showing three that I have a story to go with. Okay, here's my story. I'm working on a construction site in the early to mid 90s. My employee says, hey, Royce, did you hear that? We're listening to the radio all day long, playing music games while we're listening. I said, no, what did you hear? He goes, well, there's a super band, a big rock band, going to play at the Orpheum Theater in Los Angeles next Friday night, and they're not going to announce the name, but you have to show up wearing a tux. It's a very formal theater. So we didn't know who it even was, but for something to do, we went out and rented tuxes and drove to Los Angeles. And you should have heard all the hooting and catcalls as we walked with our tuxes down the street on the way to the theater. And because people were kind of lining the streets and standing in storefronts. It was that kind of a neighborhood we're walking through. And we get there, we walk in, it's pretty crowded. And guess what? Guns N' Roses is making November Rain, maybe the biggest hit of those two albums. November Rain. I mean, what a wonderful solo /plate standing out in the field with the wind blowing on November Rain. And then, of course, the video with the bar scene and all that stuff. It was my kids were the world's biggest Guns N' Roses fans. I have a video here. It's one of those little 4-tracks that went in the camera. And it's my daughters, my twin daughters at about 11 or 12 years old, taking turns singing Patience, dressed like Axl Rose with headbands on. And every time I go to find it, they freak out. They don't want anybody to see it. I think they might have even hidden it from me. But anyway, so I got to the theater, and because my kids were such big fans, okay, that's a long song to begin with, and they did 7 takes of it. And through each take, the cameras would pan over the audience. We're all wearing suits. And every time, and this is really out of character for me because I'm kind of a shy, humble guy. But every time the camera panned over the crowd, I jumped on my seat and started playing an air guitar. And the only thing that got me to do that was I wanted my kids to see it on the video. You know? And of course it wound up, of course in the cutting room floor is where it wound up because they looked at who's this idiot standing on his chair? I must have done it 5 times. Anyway, so between sets, Axl and Slash only would sit on the stage and they'd eat up another 45. I mean, the whole thing took like 5-6 hours. They'd sit on the stage and people would come down and girls were getting things autographed and guys were getting things autographed. And I jumped in line. I'm like the oldest guy in the whole place. Everybody's like 21 years old. I'm 45 or whatever. And I look around as I'm getting close. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? I went back to my seat. I didn't even go up there and say hi. I've never been an autograph hound, to be perfectly honest with you. The only autograph I have is on a Slaughter album, Mark Slaughter. And it wasn't the band Slaughter. It was a solo album. And one of my friends is a good friend of his, grew up with him, Pat. Dan knows him very well. And he got that for me with Slaughter's autograph. That's the only autograph I have, period. You know, I don't go out and chase autographs. A lot of people do it. I don't have a problem with it. It's just not me. But anyway, so that's why I wanted to show that Use Your Illusions album. And what's crazy about it, $499.
Oh, geez.
These 2 albums, $499.
All right, Royce, did you buy a box set because of that experience?
No, not at all.
Box set
But on top of that, I already own Use Your Illusions 1. And my daughter, my youngest daughter that lives with us, bought Use Your Illusions 2. So I've got the 2 albums that box set is based upon.
But you didn't buy the box set.
That's the thing with the box sets. You know, if I'm a fan of a band, I'm pretty much going to have all their albums anyway. Okay.
Right.
So when they come out with a box set, what is the difference? Is it going to be cheaper for me to just keep my single albums, or go out and buy a box set that's duplicating my collection already with a few pictures and a folder, and you know?
You're the dude that owns the lunch box already. That's the dude that buys the box sets with the poster and everything that we just saw. You're a super fan. Nothing wrong with that, but let's call, it's quacks, it's a duck. That's what it's all about. Cool. If you like that, it's a resell, upsell. It's all business though.
And probably the reason for the big cost of these things is because they have to make up the difference because an album is, well, back when I was collecting albums in the 70s, they were like $5 a piece.
Right.
I could have an entire collection of a band. They have 10 albums. I got $50 invested. Why am I going to now go out and spend $400 on material I already have just to get the little bonuses they throw in? It's not worth it.
My favorite part is you got the analog people going, oh my God, these records sound amazing. I've got the album. And then they buy the box set with the remix with all, digital. What the hell's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the case of Axl Rose, I thoroughly 100% agree with Lou. That should never be remixed or remastered. Leave it where it was to begin with.
I know, Michael, you're a big fan of Axl Rose. I know that.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Marvin.
Shout
out to Marvin in the message saying, if you're doing Coke, you don't eat pizza, asshole. I'm going to say that. I'm just going to call him out for being a dick. Marvin, you're a dick. Fuck up.
Hey, don't get offended. We're having a good time here.
That's an offensive line. Don't talk shit in the crowd. There you go. There you go. I'll call it out. I'll be the musician.
Oh.
That's what I do. That's why I'm on stage and you're not.
Okay. I've got a couple other things I want to show here. Let's see. All right. How about this, guys? I bet you this. I don't know if this is going to come as a surprise to anybody or everybody knows about it, but it's a Blondie box set. Did you know that, Lou? I know you like Blondie.
I love Blondie.
Blondie box set, 74 through 82. And it's set to be released August 26th, tomorrow. No, that was last month. I'm sorry. That's the release date a month ago. So anyway, so Blondie's got a box set out, and we all love Blondie. Then we've got Led Zeppelin 4's box set. And let's see, what do we know about that? Led Zeppelin
137 $137.
You get 2 CDs, 2 LPs, and an 80-page book.
Oh boy.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. So Okay.
You know,
let's,
I got my original Led Zeppelin 4 album from Columbia House for a penny. So
Yeah, you get 11 albums and a line of cocaine.
hey, Dan, were you like everybody else? You get the first 10 or something for a penny, and then you just you're a youth, so you just cancel your subscription and never buy anymore.
well, no, actually,
I did that 3 times.
I actually had some strict parents. They made me pay for it. You know, and you got to remember, back in those days, you had to send in a card to tell them, don't send the next album. Don't send the next album, you know.
Mine tried to raise me right, too. I get it. Let's see. This is another one that I would probably be sorely tempted. Nirvana Nevermind. And Nirvana Nevermind, we have, let's see, we got 5 LPs and a 7-inch. And of course, all of them have books and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm not sure how you turn Nirvana into 5 LPs. I know oftentimes what happens, you get all the remakes and the outtakes and a lot of the stuff that didn't make the cut for the album. You're getting it now as part of the box set. And I don't know that for sure because I haven't bought a box set like that. Have you, Michael?
No. Well, wait a minute. Back in the 80s, there wasn't a box set, but it was a release for Pete Townsend. All of his old, track recordings and everything. I loved it. But I'm one of those guys that, like with Nirvana, if this is alternative, guys, this is all we have. They were amazing, but they were a moment. And anything that expands that moment, I think it's worth a good look at.
I agree. They were amazing, and they were a moment. That's a really good way of putting it. They were amazing, and I, for one, liken Kurt Cobain to Bob Dylan as a modern day poet and storyteller. And not everybody agrees with me, but you know what? I'm entitled to an opinion too.
Does anybody?
He was a major Beatle fan.
Does anybody know when box sets started? Vinyl box sets. When did those
start? I'll tell you what. They go back pretty far because I wound up with this 5-album set of Bruce Springsteen. I have no idea when or where. I think I bought it. I drove down to Santa Maria one day and spent $160 or $200 on just a big stack of vinyl. And I think the Parlophone original pressing of Revolver was one of them.
See, I was just curious because I've never bought a box set. With the exception of this may be considered a box set. In 1971, I think I bought a Chicago 4-album live set from Carnegie Hall.
Well, this Springsteen thing is pretty dated, I think, because these albums are old. It's got a nice booklet. And I'm sorry, Dan, I know I'm interrupting you. It's got, you asked when the first one was out. 1, 2, 3. There's five LPs here. And I've cleaned them all, and they're all in great condition too. And then, of course, we've got this awesome booklet, stories, songs, lyrics. Anyway, so
you know what, Royce? That booklet, that's what you used to get at live concerts, and it was called a program, and it was free. That's what you get with a box set. Oh my God!
That's actually what I used to collect.
That's right.
Instead of buying T-shirts, I got a program, and it never failed. At every concert I get with that program, and I don't want it wrinkled. I don't want it damaged anyway, so I'd put it under my seat. And every time the guy behind me would spill his beer. So every one of my programs have got a beer wrinkle to it.
That's right.
But that's a memory.
Yeah.
But you know what? I remember the first full color program I got for free. 1973, Winterland, San Francisco, Queen. And we got the program, and it was like a 16-page with lots of writing. It talked about how each of them had a degree, and one of them was practically an astronomer. To this day, I can still see each page. I lost it years ago.
I've got one.
And it was part of the ticket right there.
Wow.
I've got one right back here.
Yeah, Zep Pearl's here. I want to welcome Zep Pearl. And I just want to say that Zep Pearl's got a great show. I watch it every chance I get, and everybody should go watch Zep Pearl. He's a great guy, very knowledgeable. he gets together with some of his buds, and sometimes they even go record shopping together and they meet up. And I think that's really cool. But he brought up the concert for Bangladesh, George Harrison.
Yeah.
And we appreciate hearing that. Then here's
Royce?
my nephew, Todd Patterson, who's also a comedian. Someone is chowing down. Yes, someone is chowing down.
I'm hungry, man. You're on my dinner hour, you know?
I'm still trying to get my nephew, Todd, to come on and bring a little video of his music that we can all enjoy, because he's really talented. And Todd, you know, you can't let me down on this, buddy. Let me know when you want to come on. We'd like to watch. I just want to share it with these guys because I'm really impressed, and I appreciate you being
Pearl
here.
just did a great video that he shared with regarding Pearl Jam, a concert he went to. It's about a half-hour video. It was great. I just saw it today. So great job, V, on that one. He talks about Pearl Jam's latest release, and he blends that with how he got into the concert and how it apart. He actually was trying for 3 separate concerts and then wound up only going. He couldn't get even to the third one. He wound up going. He could tell you Kentucky, and man, it was just a great video. You know, real entertaining.
Wow, that's great. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with my spelling here.
Hey, Michael, what year was that program you said you had from Queen?
73, Dan.
Oh, 73.
1973.
The one I have is from 77 when they released News for the World.
I saw them in 81. They were amazing.
I saw them again in 78 or whatever year it was that they were touring Night at the Opera. And what a first of all, the first time Winterland. Second time was at the Orpheum Theater in Oakland, and assigned seating, and they did the whole damn album in order. Oh, I loved it. They were
the Play in the Game album is Queen 1981's concert. It's a double live album. The stage on the front was exactly like that, and the first song to the last song is the concert. You can listen to the concert.
Nice.
First, it's the exact same concert I saw in 81. Pretty much the last time they were on tour at their prime, in my opinion. So, you don't need a box set, folks. Go get some of the original shit from these guys. That's my point of this whole show.
Yeah, when I saw Queen in 77, that was right before Freddie Mercury cut his hair short. He still had shoulder length hair.
He had the long nails in one hand.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I loved him.
I've got a couple more. I'm going to pop
Baba Black period.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He wore Baba Black nail polish. Remember?
Way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing that back then.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another popular box set. David Bowie.
I love David.
I love David, but
David. This has 13 LPs in it.
Wow.
And it's called Who Can I Be Now? 74 to 76.
Let's guess the price. Let's guess the price on this one.
I'm going to go a bid at 150.
I'm gonna say 400.
400, 500, 500.
That would be a good set. I've got maybe 2 or 3 Bowie albums, but that's all.
But here you're letting somebody else select the best songs in your behalf of that artist. You're not listening to their music. You're letting somebody else pick what you like. Why, people, are you doing this? Go listen to every song, man. Because
I hear you, Lou. I hear you. No, I can't disagree. I can't disagree.
Well, somebody's got to say it. The emperor has no clothes.
Yeah. Okay, here's Chuck Berry's Great 28. Now, being that I was fortunate enough, I should say, to find this at an antique store. It's a double album set. Chuck Berry's The Great 28. And it is excellent. I mean, it's got all the big hits. Maybelline, Brown-Eyed Handsome Man, Roll Over Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, Reelin' and a Rockin', Sweet Little 16, Johnny B. Good. I mean, Carol, Memphis, Little Queenie, Sweet Little Rock and Roller, Back in the USA, Nadine, No Particular Place to Go. No Particular Place to Go cemented my being a fan of rock music. I was listening to my little transistor radio with the 1-ear plug, 8 or 9 years old, and Chuck Berry started singing No Particular Place to Go, and I never looked back. It was rock and roll.
Real swing. That's got a really great swing to that track.
I
You know,
absolutely
his vocals have a
love
swing.
that album.
Yep.
So anyway, that's really all the ones I'm going to show in terms of that. I mean, I do have. I might as well get it out of the way. Time is getting tight here. I'm a big Led Zeppelin fan, and I have the soundtrack from the film. The song remains the same, and it's a 4-album set here. And I found this in, of all places, a sports memorabilia store that had a little rack of vinyl in it.
Does it come with the DVD of the movie?
No, this one doesn't. No, but it comes with a nice booklet, and of course the 4 nice albums. And I'm not going to pull them all out, but they're not in nice heavy covers and stuff like that. And this thing is awesome.
In fact, I was going to say a little known fact with that soundtrack. A lot of people mistakenly think it's identical to the movie. It's not. There are some differences between those mixes. Sometimes entire nights were, because they are, as all albums are, live albums are, they take the best portion of Tuesday night, attach that to Thursday night, do a crossfade, and voila. But if you're really into Led Zeppelin, but you've never really kind of dissected them, give a close listen to the movie, then go back and listen to the soundtrack. It's an eye opener, man.
Yeah. The thing I like about that soundtrack and the movie, that was around the same time period I saw him in concert. So when I watched the movie, it's almost like seeing him in concert again. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll listen to that.
And this, I bought this when it came out. And I was very depressed when I started getting my CDs all back together, because what I used to do when I bought CDs that I liked, the first thing I would do is on my computer burn a copy. That's what would go in my car, on my motorcycle, my Ultra Classic with the stereo and stuff, and that would go with me, the burned copies. And so when I started getting this all together, I opened up. Well, first of all, I got to show the booklet off because it's amazing in its own right. Nice heavy booklet. Anyway, but there's 4 CDs in here, and the 4th one was empty, and it just freaked me out. And I was going to record stores looking for that 4th CD that belongs in this set. Finally, I was going through a bunch of CDs here at the house that I found behind a bunch of VCR tapes or whatever, and I found it in the wrong case, And so now I have the complete set. They've actually never been played. I just burnt copies of them. And I have so many CDs of Led Zeppelin, even the BBC sessions and things like that. I have almost all Led Zeppelin on CDs. Not necessarily burnt. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But anyway, so I kept this pristine. A couple of other things that I have. I'll just get this out of the way. Unopened. This Beatles anniversary box set here.
Daddy bugs.
So I have that. And this is the anniversary 4 LP edition, 180 grain heavyweight vinyl, master to half speed, new stereo mixes by Giles Martin. Okay, so that's another one. That's another unopened one. I've got another unopened one.
That album by there's another excellent reason why that should be a box set. We finally got the Esser recordings with that.
Okay.
With that mix. The recordings that they recorded at George's bungalow on acoustic guitars. There are 8 or 9 cuts. Wonderful.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta show this also unopened. I can barely pick it up. There's 8 LPs in here. It's the Jimi Hendrix Experience. And I was eyeballing 2 of these at my local record store. Traffic Way Records. It's got 8 albums in it, and if you can see when the light hits this just right, you see all these different colors around the band.
Open the fucking box.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is terrible. This is the wrong way to do stuff. But this one was made in 2020. It's 22 years old, and you can buy it today. You can still buy these. But this is the only version with a velvet cover. I didn't even know that as I was checking out. He goes, "Yeah, this has got the velvet color." I'm going, "What the hell are you talking about?"
It sounds better.
This is a velvet cover. So I've been.
Open it. Open it. Take the plastic off your couch, Royce.
Go, Michael, go. Whoa.
Royce is the guy with the sports car in the garage you never drive.
How do we do that?
I'm saving this for somebody but me.
But if you look at this list, it's, I mean, I don't know how many versions of Hey Joe and Purple Haze and the songs are on
Because you
there,
haven't
but-
listened to it.
No, I didn't.
Open it.
I've been tempted to buy a newer version and listen to it and not open this pristine velvet covered
Okay,
version.
Royce, as a musician, and
That
I
kills
love
me.
you,
You're killing us.
it's
You're
just like,
killing us.
oh, you gotta listen.
I know.
It's gonna be more
The
valuable.
plastic is on the box. You have not opened the box.
Okay.
Royce,
What?
Jimmy, what would Jimmy say? Oh, I'm glad you bought my box and didn't open it and listen to my music.
And I know there's value in that, but
Wow.
we're just
It's
I
like-
know. I
it's-
knew I
what's
was
it-
going to get beat up for this one.
Who are you
I knew I was
saving
going to
it
get
for?
beat up for this
Who
one.
are you saving it for?
Okay.
You know, it's
So
like
I
having
did open this.
it's like having your favorite
Jimmy
candy
Hendrix-
bar.
Jimmy
It's like-
Hendrix was
Never
at
eat
the
it.
top of his game when he showed up in Maui, Hawaii, and put on 2 free concerts. And this is live in Maui.
oh,
And he
I love
played
it.
he played to 200 to
Open,
300
open.
people. Played to 200 to 300 people out in the middle of nowhere, live
Wow.
in Maui.
I hope someday
I
people buy
opened
my
it.
music and never open it. You know.
I want you to
We'd
know.
we'd ask you what it sounded like, Royce, but we know you haven't listened to
Don't fucking open it.
it.
Now this came
Just
with
teasing.
this came
So much
this
crap.
came with a Blu-ray DVD with both concerts on it, called Music, Money, and Madness. Okay, Blu-ray DVD, and then all the albums. I got to show you this. There's 3 albums in here. It came with an amazing booklet with all kinds of pictures. I mean, look how few people are. Jimi Hendrix is at the top of his game in this. He's just doing this for the fun of it. There's very few people there. It's not going to look like Woodstock or somebody.
It's open. You listen to
Like
it.
where's the crowd, right? This is Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that means something to me. Okay, I'm not saying it means
You
something.
listen to that one.
But when you look at these nice heavy-duty covers, you know, live in Maui, I mean, these are just fantastic. And I know, Lou, you really wish you had these. I know you do.
You're killing. Well, yeah, I'd be listening to them, Royce. Yes.
Live in Maui. Okay, I'm putting this all away now. You guys go ahead and talk, okay?
Put it on your damn turntable and turn it on.
I love you, Royce. This is
Holy
so
crap.
awesome.
But Royce, we could have a world event right here. You unboxing. This could be your big chance, Royce.
I know.
This could
and
be
you
the
know what?
video.
It goes like
I
this.
know. I'm hesitant to show some of these because I was thinking about doing little short 20-minute unboxings to fit midweek, and these are the perfect things to do for those. Anyway,
That'd be awesome. The next
but I'm
one.
happy to share them with my friends on this show tonight. Okay, let's go see if there's anything going on in the chat.
Oh, my
Oh, there
goodness.
has been.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
there-
they're alive.
They're talking amongst themselves. Yes.
Royce, what's the-
I'm afraid to look.
We've been watching it go by, which is why I attacked that one dude. I didn't like that. Don't talk shit, man. No,
Danny Box tells me I could add 10 subscribers just for opening that box. If I knew that was a fact,
we
if I
should
knew
have.
that was a fact, I would not only open the box, but I would take a pad sander to the velvet cover.
Oh, for just 10? No, you need more than
Just
that.
joking. I would never
Oh,
do
Royce,
that.
how many?
I would never-
subscribers- Wait. How many subscribers would it take for you to listen to that album and take it out of the plastic? Give us a number, and we're going to go for it right now.
Yes.
1,000. Oh, we got a comp. He doesn't
Okay.
want to open it. He doesn't
No.
want to open it.
I know
1,000.
that's no. Of course, we're all trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's the point at which, as long as you have your 4,000 watch hours, you can
So,
be
Royce,
monitored. You can
1,000
join
subscribers?
the partner program with YouTube. Let me put it that way.
1,000 new subscribers. Will you open that box and play it live?
I will not only
1,000.
open it, but I will mail it to you.
Ah!
You're telling me
Okay,
there's a chance.
you heard this live. Royce just said we need 1,000 subscribers from this number right now. I want that to come to my house, and I want to show it, and I'm going
I
to
will
play it right
mail
here
it to
live.
you, and I'll spend the rest of my life looking for her person. But I'd be happy doing that, honestly.
Well, we want 1,000 subscribers right now. People, get your friends. We got to get on Royce right now. We're going to free that album, and I'm going to play live in the studio here on 1,000 watts at least. Yeah, let's do this.
1,000.
1,000 from this day on.
Is that
Before
right?
what? What time? How much time do we get? 1 week? 1 week, 2 weeks, 10
Sure,
days.
I'll give you a week. I'll give you 2 weeks, buddy.
2 weeks.
So I went on
14 days,
Rachel's
people.
show last week, and I left with 26 new subscribers.
Yay!
All right, we want 1,000.
I went on this morning, and Rachel doesn't care what you do. You can post your link to your, subscribe to your channel, and she encourages you to do that. She says some people just come in and just do that. They take off for work. She starts at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I went on this morning, and it was a great time. She had Michael 45 and Mazzy, and these guys all have like 30,000 subscribers, kind of a thing.
Oh, they nobody.
And they can really be entertaining. And I went on there, and we were all chatting and stuff like that. And I left with 3 or 4 more subscribers. Every time you go on her show, you leave with subscribers, And she encourages that, and she promotes you. And she said she wanted to be here tonight, and I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be here.
I know. Yeah, she said this morning she was really going to try to make it tonight, and that was before I really said anything. She brought it up.
I've never been on her show. I think I would bump heads with what's his name, Waxed.
Oh, Wax, yeah. I went on her show one day, and Wax was just ripping on her, calling her all kinds of names, just tearing her apart. And my mouth just dropped open. I'm like, this has got to be some kind of spoof. And he was real angry while he was doing it, and she was acting really upset. And all of a sudden, they both started laughing, and it was a spoof. And I just knew that had to be the case because I'd watched enough times, and she's on all the time. They're like best friends.
He's he's like both of those cranky old men in the balcony on the Muppet Show. He's like both of them connected, but it seems to me he just he almost likes to kind of stir the shit a little bit.
No, he does.
Cool.
Yeah,
he's really cool. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's very troll-like.
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
Very troll.
Because no matter what you say,
I mean, Rachel started all over again. Her show went down, and she started all over again.
Good
And
for
all of
her.
a sudden, I remember when she had like 400 subscribers, and things weren't, exploding for her. And then all of a sudden, it started to take off. I think she's got over 3,000 subscribers now.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to like everyone.
So Dana, you and Lou are making music together.
Yes.
And I mean that in the musician sense.
Yes.
How's that
Doing it
coming
right
along?
now.
Have you guys got any tracks down? And
Well,
well,
we
yeah.
just got the new band together, and
Okay.
they're sounding good. I went out and handpicked. I got my old drummer back from Broken Toys way back when,
oh, no kidding.
and I just got this new. Wait till you see
Oh
this.
my
Hold
God,
on.
we got a beautiful new piano.
Oh,
no,
wait a minute.
No,
No,
this is
and
double
this-
neck.
this-
Oh, here we go. Oh my God. I've heard about the double neck. One solid piece.
I just rewired it.
It's awesome.
Rewired it. This is
Well,
a
you know what?
custom
You need to play Okie from Muskogee for us real quick.
No.
Is that a bass guitar combo?
Yes. And
Awesome.
I just rewired it with Roland GK2A pickups.
Wait.
Oh man.
And she's got a new Jackson.
Oh
So
my
we got
God.
Yeah, wait till you see this new Jackson over here.
Jeez.
That boy.
Yeah,
We're surrounded by a shitload of gear right now. Yeah.
Love my new guitar.
So yeah, this baby's.
What did you guys rob a bank or what?
I was about to say, did they rob a music store?
No, we didn't buy box sets.
There you go.
Okay, what musicians do.
Caitlin, now don't have a dirty mind, Caitlin. I'm just
What's
kidding.
Caitlin saying? Glad you're what?
Clarified that, Royce. Almost chokes my cheesecake.
No, it's
Don't
pizza. It's
show.
pizza.
You're
Someone asked
done,
what's on the
Caitlin. You're
pizza.
done.
It's a black olive pizza with onions and all other crap. It's that's all. Oh, Caitlin, enjoy your cheesecake. Caitlin's a great fan of the show. We really appreciate everyone in the room. Don't let me offend you.
No.
We are full of it.
But if you talk shit, I'm going to talk shit back. This is a great crew that we have here tonight, and I respect
It really
everyone.
is a great crew.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we've got Psycho's Platter. Psycho's Platter has a podcast, and I check in whenever I can, and I encourage everybody to go check out Psycho's Platter. Give him a listen. You're going to enjoy it. Good to see you here, brother.
No, this is YouTube.
Choose your cheesecake. Is that a code word for something?
I
I was going to try to stay off of that.
like cake.
Funny.
I just thought she was trying to say, like, using it like nothing chaps my cheesecake, like something like that,
There's a song.
Michael, when is your show on live, dude? I keep trying to get on your show live. When is it live?
I haven't done any live streams as of yet. The channel has just gone full time, Lou, and I will be streaming, but that's still about 2 weeks off. But oh God, I'd love to have you on. Sure.
Send me a freaking link. I keep looking at that and your shit's already recorded. I want to bug the shit out of you. So send me a link when you're on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'll bring you pizza.
Everybody here tonight better show up.
Good.
All right.
We will.
That's all I can say.
Let us know.
I want Dan
please.
and Royce in the room too.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be fun, Michael.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. This is really a good group right here. I really enjoy all you guys. This is great. And I couldn't be happier. We've got a good crew here, very diversified crew, and everybody's fans of different people, and we don't always agree, and that makes it even better. I don't want to agree all the time. I'd like to disagree half the time at least.
And that's how we evolve, and that's how
we evolve. That's how you finally come around to my way of thinking, right?
Go, Royce.
Right.
You set up a team of people like yourself, you get nothing better than yourself. You get people with differences, you go far.
But Dana is absolutely right. That's how our entire generation, us baby boomers, that's how we evolved. That's part of it was, for some strange, miraculous reason, we had like 30 or 40 genius pop stars all show up on the world stage pretty much at the same time. But we learned to evolve. It was okay if the guy next to you was gay and had a different lifestyle than you. You weren't going to screw your viewpoint just because you both liked what you heard on stage. Nobody was judging Freddie Mercury for being gay or anything like that. But unfortunately, in the 80s, then if you were the other side of the political aisle, you did get a lot of criticism. And I think that sucks too, because guess what? There's room for everybody at the table, Dana, and I agree with you.
Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely, Dana.
It's a long process.
We really appreciate you being on and your take and perspective on things. I mean, you're really a valuable asset to the show.
I haven't said much, but thank you.
He doesn't have to. Sometimes less words are better.
No, it speaks for itself, or you speak for yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
But anyway, I'm having a good time, and I wish the show was growing a little bit faster, because I've seen some shows that were just blew up overnight, and but it is what it is, I brought that up. I brought that up to radio.
I get a new box set.
We're pushing for you, Royce. We're telling you
right now, man.
We know.
Wait, I'm sorry, Dana. I couldn't hear you.
I said we are pushing for you.
Oh, good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, it's growing. The subs are ticking up. I wasn't real serious about subscribers for a long time. It's really only been like the last few months. But what's interesting is it's not just 1,000 subscribers to be invited into the YouTube partnership program, but it's also 4,000 watch hours. But that 4,000 watch hours has to be accrued within 12 months. So what happens is every month you lose, the 13th month ago drops off, and you better hope that the new shows are getting more than the old shows. And you really have to average 335 hours of watch time per month to hit 4,000 in a year. But when you have these old shows that didn't have that many, I think I'm averaging something like 340, 344 watch hours. So I'm accruing a little extra to make up for some old shows. And the goal is to get that up much higher. I would like to just hit the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours the same month, and being.
You can get your subscribership up seriously from where it is. Where are you at now? About 437?
No, I think I'm 470.
470. Sorry.
Yeah, 470.
Okay, yeah. All right. So let's, of course, you've got my support on my channel. But here's the deal, Royce. If we could get you up in the next 3 months, up into that, get your first 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the 4,000 watch hours, because once you have that many subscribers, you're going to get not just returning,
right?
Because that doesn't always. You would think if I have over 17,000 now, you would think I'd be guaranteed 17,000 views per video. I get nothing like that.
No.
Right? Not at all. So, but you get a lot of people once you get that many subscribers. The YouTube algorithm starts working for you, right? Better and stronger. And usually, when you're up at about 1,000 subscribers, you're probably going to be a minimum of 8,000. But you do have to keep it up. And here's the deal: over the next year, make sure you keep striving to get your videos to get more views, because every 12 months. They're going to come a calling and saying, "Do you have your 4,000 watch hours?"
Right.
I was kind of lucky when I started my YouTube channel. I ended up getting the views well before I got my subscribers. I don't know how that happened, but it was once I found out. I guess I started in 2006, and I guess it was around 2017 is when I realized, hey, people are getting paid for this, and I was just using YouTube as a place to store my videos, not publicizing it. But people would find their way there anyway. And so I already had the hours. Then I thought, well, you got to get 1,000. So then I started pushing for my subscribers, and I finally reached that no problem. And like you said, when the algorithms work right for you, you can get a lot of hits. Yeah. I mean, I had one video that had close to 300,000 views, and I gained 1,600 subscribers all within a week. I mean,
that was that Mars movie or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a home run right there.
Well, great. It was Earth versus the flying saucers.
So Royce, I'm maxed out at just 30 away from 5,000 on my Facebook personal page. I've got 3,000 on my pro page. I have over 57,000 overall on all my social media, including Nation and all that shit. So you just said if you get 1,000 new people in 1 week, that you're gonna. What was that box set that you didn't open up?
Yeah.
I want to know the name of it. I want to know the name of it. I want to know the name of it right now, because I'm going to put an ad out.
Oh, yeah,
Jimmy Hendrix
Experience. All right.
8 LPs. It weighs about 100 pounds.
So, okay, so you
Royce, this is important, because Lou's going to give me this when you give him that.
All right, so I'm going to put an ad out tomorrow for everyone to add themselves to this channel, that if you get 1,000 more than you have right now, you're going to promise me within 2 weeks you gave me that you're going to open that album and you're going to listen to it. And I want you to listen to it live while we all come back and we get to hear it too. Is that fair enough? 1,000.
Okay. I will.
Daddy Bog, you're going to help us. Don't touch that screen. It's live. So that's the deal. We heard it here at Square. 1,000 from this point, 2 weeks time. You open that album live and play it on video, and then we will all come back. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm going to put the ads out tomorrow on all my social media to try and pull in 1,000 in. Anyone who wants to join, please help me so we can help free that Jimi Hendrix album, and so we can hear it, okay? Instead of being wrapped in plastic.
So all of you people out there that are watching this video, if you have
thank you. Thank you. I love it, man.
Yeah.
1,000. You don't have to send it to me. We just want to see you open it live on the air and play that motherfucker. I want to watch it spin.
I'll do it.
That's a goal. I'm in. I'm all in, man.
I'm all in too. Believe me.
We're going after this.
Believe me, that would be awesome. I'm all in.
That's doable. That's doable. That's like less than 2%. We can make this happen.
Lou's not excited.
That's great.
No, I love challenges.
Oh, Jeff.
Jeff, help us out. Everybody.
Yeah, they do make it on a CD also. They do make a CD with a velvet cover also. That's cool, Jeff.
Free Hendrix box project right now. 1,002 week on Roy's show. Tell your friends. Get on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Free Royce's album so he can hear it.
MySpace.
MySpace,
Channel, give Royce a shout out too. Man.
Let's do it. Yes, please do it. Help us out. This will be fun. It'll be funny when he has to open that. He don't want to. He don't want to.
The box or the curtain? I'll take the box.
I want to see him open that live, man. I want to see him peel the plastic off in painful face.
You know, if everybody bought a box set and didn't open it, pretty soon the recording industry is going to get a whiff of that. They'll start filling those boxes. They'll start filling it full of sand. You know.
Nothing in there.
It's like the Pet Rock. Remember the Pet Rock?
Or worse, it gets relegated to being nothing but an unopened Star Wars toy.
Oh yeah.
Worse.
Todd made a great point here. He gets 30 subs a day and loses 31. And I'll tell you one thing. I thought I'd hit the formula. I got 70 subs as I was dozing off on the couch, working my phone. I got 70 subs. I was so excited. Oh my God! At this rate, I'm going to be there in no time. And I woke up the next morning. They were all taken away from me.
Well, the good thing is you can never go negative. You can't go lower than zero.
You never go negative, right?
Well, I'm putting out a campaign for you, man. I'm gonna be playing for you, buddy. I'm gonna play hard.
That's great, Lou.
Next
That's
2 weeks,
awesome,
I'm playing hard for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get a flurry like that, a lot of fake channels are signing up so that they can put their links usually about XXX rated girls. You know, and
I don't know why they're picking on me.
Well, occasionally YouTube, this has happened to me too, Roy, so don't even take that personally. They do a vetting when you get so many what they consider to be an excess amount of subs. And they find them and they not only remove those links, but then remove them as subs.
Yeah, well, it looks totally out of character. You're getting one a week and you get 70 in one evening in a couple of hours. It's like there's something wrong. You get flagged and they, you get flagged and punished.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I did anyway. Dan got what, a zillion, that Mars thing. I mean, nobody messed with you on that.
Well, actually, they did mess with me. They did. Yeah. Well, what happened was, they gave me a warning saying that I was putting it's not so much YouTube, it's the AdSense. They've got rules too. And one of the AdSense rules is if you're going to put up somebody else's material, like the old 50s movies that I was doing.
Okay.
Even though there's no copyright on these movies, and so it's free and legal to use these movies, the AdSense says if you don't change that video a little bit, even by narrating a little bit, it's considered reusing content, and they can demonetize you for it. So I took all the movies down. I didn't want to risk it, so I took all the movies off.
Okay. But you got to keep all the subscribers and watch hours, though, right?
Oh yeah, I got to keep all that.
Okay.
That's what we want.
And guys, our hour is up. We got to get back to work. Thank you so much for letting us be on the show.
Oh no, Lou, you and Dan are awesome. You guys better be here every week, or I'm gonna hunt you down. You're not that.
We gotta get back to work. We're working on a box set. Just kidding.
You better not be, because that would mean the end of your career by your own theory.
Love you, Sammy. Thanks for saying that. It was his line. All right, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Have fun. Love you all.
Okay. All right.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. That was fun.
Something that I've been hearing here lately, since I know the Pantera group, and there's a lot of material that they never recorded. They recorded, but they never did anything with it. And that goes for video as well. I was in their studio, it's probably been about 10 years ago, and there was a garbage can full of videotapes and cassettes that they hadn't even gone through yet. And so I'm kind of wondering, plus they had enough material to put out a second album as Damage Plan. And Vinny was working on that, of course, and he's not here anymore. So I don't know if but there's a lot of material sitting around, so I don't know what they're going to do with it. So there may be something in the future. I think this would be a good time to do it. I think this would be a good time to do it since the reformed Pantera is going on tour.
Right.
You know,
right,
that way
right.
they shouldn't record as Pantera. They can take the old Pantera stuff and promote that during this tour. I think they make a lot of money off of it.
Oh yeah, no, the timing would be perfect. You and I talked about that. It might have been a year ago. You know, that Dime and Vinny had this huge amount of stored material that had never been released. And I think you said that Dime's girlfriend had control over it all.
Yeah, Rita has full control over that.
Okay,
well,
that's
actually,
right. Yeah.
at this point, I think it's probably both estates, Vinny's estate and
okay.
Dimebag's estate. They have to agree to it because they represent each individual.
Well,
So,
did you know them very well? The estate, the people that would be the estates.
Well, it's Rita and another guy named Brian. You know, I've known Brian for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it just, to me, it's odd that, I hate to say it, that he got everything that Vinny had. You know, it's like, really? I mean, you know, right. So when they talk about the estates, I know both estates.
Okay. I was just curious. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of material. Dime was really big on videotape, you know, the old VHS tapes, because every show that they did, he always had a camera, you know, on stage to record their you know, show that on that particular night. Did that at every show. And in fact, some of the video that you see about the night he was killed, that was from his camera that he had set up, you know. So that was kind of odd that his camera recorded his own murder.
Oh my God, that's tough to take right there. Yeah. You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Lou. You know, with all these friends he has. You know, I thought he was asking for the album, and I was happy to send it to him, but all he wanted me to do was take the wrapper off and play it.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember a couple of years ago on another record show where Michael Altini was showing off one of his rare albums?
Yeah.
He was showing all it broke the album.
Ow.
It was
I remember that.
Everybody's saying, be careful with it. Oh, this is very rare. Well, it snapped, it broke. Oh my God.
Yeah. We all participated, Michael, in this wax competition where you'd show vinyl and then they would vote on who gave the best story and stuff. You know, my stories were always so long-winded. I put everybody to sleep. I told a story about I don't want to get into it again. It put everybody to sleep again, but it must have went on for about 40 minutes. They finally made me stop.
Well, there was one night where you talked about this album, and then when you went to show it, there was no album inside. Remember
that was one of the Use Your Illusions. That you know what? I was in a competition. I won the first round hands down, and I was going to win the second round with my November Rain story on Use Your Illusions 1. Well, unbeknownst to me, I owned Use Your Illusions 1 with November Rain, and my daughter bought Use Your Illusions 2. And she finally brought it in, and I had a box sitting on this table over here that was alphabetical, and she slid it down next to mine. I had no idea she put it in there. So I went over and after telling my story, I pulled it out, and I pulled out the wrong Use Your Illusions.
Oh, that's right.
And because of that, I lost the competition. I was like, how did this get in here? And Nikki goes, I'm sorry, Dad. I forgot to tell you. I put mine with yours.
You lost out on a technicality.
I lost on a technicality. Yeah. Seemed like I was always losing on a technicality.
I can't remember who all I went up against. I think I may have gone up against you once.
Yeah, we went up against each other, and I went up against Scott Harris once or twice.
Scott Harris.
But the one I really wanted to take down was Ashley Alexander from England. He plays in a band in England. He's a guitar player. And young English guy, kind of good-looking guitar player, had all these songs on Instagram and a site people could join. And so all the girls had joined that. So he was pretty popular. And he's the one that showed Led Zeppelin 3 and beat my history of Led Zeppelin with the New Yardbirds touring Scandinavia. And I thought I just killed it. And because it was really in this case, more of a popularity contest, in my humble opinion. And I got beat, and I was kind of bummed about it. I was actually in a bit of a shock.
Oh yeah, Daddy Bog pointed out I went up against him one time too. Now with Ashley,
I think we all did. Daddy Boggs was fierce.
Now
I thought he
Ashley
was never going to lose there for a while.
Now Ashley Alexander, he always had a little bit better material because he kept getting these original
Yeah.
UK pressings.
He had all this Bowie stuff from the UK, and he had all kinds of stuff, you know,
Stuff that we didn't have access to. So
and he always claimed it was in the family. I don't know where he got some of it, but it doesn't really matter. We all got it wherever we could for the competition, you know. And yeah, I really blew it on my my gangster presentation. I was unboxing the Godfather, the album, the soundtrack from the Godfather. And I was doing Marlon Brando impersonations and stuff. It's like, you all know me here. When have I ever refused an accommodation? And I was doing impersonation. I was telling this whole story about my mother from New York and how I lived in New York as a child. And it took me about 35 or 40 minutes, and everybody started getting restless in the audience.
You know, I actually worked with the Godfather.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Al Pacino. I worked with him in
Oh, no kidding.
and back in 2013, it was filmed down in Austin. I was an extra in a restaurant scene, so I got to work with him for like 9 hours. You know,
Oh, that's
pretty
great.
cool.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Man, the best scene stealer since James Dean, man. The guy just chews scenery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's absolutely true. Yeah.
He's not a tall guy either.
There's some good stories there. That
Like
Godfather,
to me.
you know, to me, it almost doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I sit down and I turn the TV on and I'm scrolling and I come across the Godfather, and usually if it's 1, 2, and 3 are behind it, it's like 9 hours of movies.
Yeah.
Right? I can't help myself. I don't care how many times I've seen it. I do the same thing with Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns. I come across a spaghetti western, and I don't know how many 100 times I've seen A Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and it's just so many of them. And you know, there really weren't that many spaghetti westerns. We all lump them all together, but there was only so many of them that were actual spaghetti westerns.
Well, so many of them that were actually good. You know, Once
Yeah.
Upon a Time in the West,
Right.
the $3 movies.
Yes.
Even, what was it? The one that actually Clint Eastwood directed, but he directed it in the manner of a spaghetti western.
Yeah. Was
where
it
he
Pale
plays
Rider, was it?
Pale
No.
Rider, one of the finest ghost
Yeah.
westerns
Yeah.
on the planet, man.
It was
I am
great.
such a major Clint Eastwood fan
Me
and
too.
a Godfather fan too.
Yeah.
You know, wow.
Well, we
Amazing
drove up
films.
to Monterey, and Clint Eastwood bought this 27 acre ranch called Mission Ranch. Got a wonderful restaurant on it with an ocean view. And Betty and I drove up there, and I made a video, about having dinner at Clint Eastwood's ranch. And then we went down to the Hog Breath Inn, owned 27 years by Clint Eastwood. And boy, was that a fun time. I walked in and we got in there, and I looked at some of the employees. I go, "Hey, has Clint Eastwood been in lately?" He goes, "Oh, he was in last night." And I think they tell that to everybody, right? And kind of everybody in the bar, and then the whole bar was kind of getting into the whole thing, and we were all laughing and cutting up. And I just had a ball in there talking to these guys about Clint Eastwood. I said, "Is he a pretty good guy?"
Many times.
He's the best
times.
guy in the world.
Yep.
You know, he's 92 years old now.
Yeah.
You know, he's still a badass, even at 92.
Oh, I know he is. I like that last movie that he did. For some reason, the name of it escapes me. Not everybody liked it, but I did. It was the one where he had to go down to Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, to me, that one was the first one starring vehicle with him that I felt it, not because of his acting. I just didn't connect with the kid in that movie, and it seemed a little slow to me. But
a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that one he starred in. Probably directed it too. I think it's called Torino.
Gran Torino.
Yeah, Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Gran Torino.
Right.
He's the
one of
gringo.
his finest films. But you know what? He doesn't even have to be in front of the camera. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, a fabulous film. Based in the South, Atlanta, Georgia. What the man tells a tale whether he's in front of the camera or behind it. And I know he's not in favor politically these days, too freaking bad. But he's a master filmmaker. And he is the only actor to ever rightfully challenge John Wayne as the next Western action star, and I love them both. I love them both.
You know, Daddy Bog just mentioned Rawhide, and that reminds me. You know, when he was in Rawhide, his son looks like he did when he was in Rawhide. It just
that's right.
Scott Eastwood. Yeah. He does. He looks like his dad did. But yeah, you know what? Clint was barely out of his teens in Rawhide, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's also the mayor for
kind of a teen there. You know, he was like that show's Michael Landon. You know, he was the little Joe on the trail, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Rowdy Yates.
Rowdy Yates. We watched that. We watched every episode of that. It was like one of the more popular shows. Yeah.
You know,
I like the Rifleman.
Yeah, no, that was good too. Yeah.
I like the fact that Clint Eastwood really never smiled. He was always serious, no matter. And especially in the Dirty Harry movies. I love the Dirty Harry movies.
Oh, they were great.
Where he's sitting at a sandwich shop eating a sandwich, and he looks over. There's a bank robber going on. He walks across the street, still eating a sandwich. kills the bad guys, and just you know, he's sitting there looking at this bloody mess of a human he just killed, eating a sandwich, and his partner looks at him like, "Oh God." You know, how can you eat while looking at this dead guy? You know, bother him.
Bill says, "Who wrote the Rawhide theme?"
Johnny Lane or something like that. Frankie Lane. Is it
Johnny
Frankie Lane?
A great blues guitar.
Frankie Lane.
Frankie Lane could have done it. Yeah.
We used to make up our own lyrics for songs at work just to amuse ourselves. You know, like. Get it out, get it up, get it in. You know, I won't go on. This is a family show. I was going to say I wrote the lyrics. I wrote the remix.
A song from this time period, Royce, that should be made into a movie. All right, here it is. El Paso by Marty Robbins.
Oh,
it's got a girl, a no good girl. I know the girl that two guys get into a gunfight and one of them dies. The guy has to leave. He's the anti-hero. He leaves but can't live without her. He must return. There's 6 mounted cowboys on his left and a dozen more on his right. He gets shot. He dies. He crawls to the girl in the end.
He crawls back. He crawls back to her arms and dies in her arms. Michael, I can't tell you how much I absolutely love that song and how many times I've listened to it. That's one of those that for years I could put that on repeat and hear it 5 or 6 times in a row and go out to my car and do the same thing the next day. I mean, I love that song.
My 45 copy had a skip in it, and it came right here. Dig this. Dig listening to this portion of that song over and over until you go and and make it work, right? A bullet may find me. A bullet may find me. A bullet may find me. Oh my God. It was insane, you know?
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso. Yeah. That song is just amazing to me. That's
waiting to be happened, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a great idea, Michael. You're right about that. You're right about that.
You know, speaking of Rawhide, it reminded me of a joke when I was a little kid, probably about 3rd grade, 8 years old. Kind of showing my age here, but the joke is, what TV show do you watch before you get a spanking? Run for Your Life. Remember that movie, that show? What show do you watch after you get a spanking? Rawhide.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was the way it was in my house.
Yeah, that's back when people. That's back when people got spanked.
Me and my brother Richie, who you both know, Dad could swing a mean leather belt. And it was always
used to make us go pick our own switches.
Yes.
A man in the house, 4 boys, go get your switch, and if it breaks, you're gonna go out and get another.
Well, that's what my grandfather used to tell my dad. You go pick it out. If I don't like it, I'll go pick it out.
You know, in the current judicial system, you know, you can't have double jeopardy, right? That didn't work at our house, you know, because my dad worked nights. So if I did something wrong, my mom would get hold of me, punish me, and say, wait till your dad gets home. So 1 o'clock in the morning, he's grabbed me out of bed, whipping my ass. So I got it twice. So I always thought twice before I did anything.
It's good my dad wasn't around.
Well, you know, when we were kids, me and Richie, we looked so funny crying. We were little kids and we'd get whipped. We'd run to the bedroom. We'd look at each other and look at each other's faces. We'd start laughing and we'd get whipped again.
Yeah, you can't do that too much today. It's totally different.
No, it's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
You know,
I can honestly,
better.
I can honestly say I never spanked my kids. My kids were good. I never had to spank them. It's when they got older,
that you wanted to spank them. Yeah.
Well, then he got too big.
Yeah,
Right.
I've spanked my kids, but I can count it on one hand and have a couple of fingers left over. But I'm for corporal punishment if you need it. But it should be last measures always.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah.
Now, my dad wasn't so much into spanking. My dad was into lecturing. I would have to stand there for like an hour while he just lectured me, and I'm weaving and come on, Dad, just hit me,
I got a ball game.
Well, guys, we've gone over a little bit. I think we're gonna call it a night. Dan, thank you very much. Michael, always a pleasure, man. Anytime, man. Come back every week. Thank you guys very much, and I want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, everybody in the chat. There wouldn't be a show without you guys. We really, really appreciate you. And that's what's going on in Royce's world today. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.